Bags like this, it looks like it costs DIOR around about 53 euros to produce. That's around about $60. And this bag would now be over £5,000. I really like their salespeople. Whenever I go in there, it feels like a family. Just imagine if you worked there and then this came out, and if you've got strong ethics about this kind of thing. Now, before I get into this, I just want to say this information is currently alleged, and DIOR have been placed under judicial administration for 1 year while it's being investigated. Everything I'm going to talk about in this video is basically what's been reported so far in the media. So we're going to go through, I'm going to take you what the media are saying. It's just literally what's being reported in the press at the moment. Hi everyone, welcome to another video. One that one of you brought to my attention just this week, and I wanted to jump straight on it. And you contacted me on Instagram and you linked to an article from Diet Prada, which is an account I really like. And I started reading and I was very, very shocked. So in summary, just to kind of bring you all up to speed, what we're talking about here are Italian sweatshops. Additionally, I'm mind blown at the prices of these pieces. They're charging us thousands and thousands of pounds for bags and ready to wear. And I already knew, you know, you didn't need to tell me that I already knew that there's such a thing as markup and you're paying for a brand logo. Does this bag really cost over 5k to make? Is it really worth that? Not in a million years. I always had this bag down for costing, say, under £1,000. It's less than that. It's around 53 euros. Okay, maybe not this exact one, but some of their bags, which haven't been named at this point, they haven't outright said which bags this applies to, but I would imagine most of them cost under 100 euros to produce. So what we are talking about is DIOR. There is a certain unit in Italy, based in Italy, and it's been placed under court investigation over allegations of labour exploitation. Now, what this is looking like, and a lot of you, the person who tagged me in this, and what I've seen on Reddit is that people are saying this is very big news in Italy right now. And although we are seeing it in the UK and maybe in the States as well, it's probably not as big news as it is in Italy, because it impacts Italy more because that's where the people are being exploited. But there is a place in Tuscany called Prato. And apparently it's known as Little China because it's got a large population of Chinese living there. And it looks like what's happening is that a lot of these people are being employed by leather good factories who are using their skills to produce handbags and belts and wallets and everything leather goods. I've got a few quotes that I want to go through with you just to kind of further bring you up to speed and show you some evidence so this isn't just me kind of talking. So here to begin. A Milan court has appointed a commissioner to run an Italian unit of French fashion group Christian Dior after an inquiry alleged that it had subcontracted work to Chinese companies that exploited workers, a document has shown. The court ordered manufacturers Dior SRL be placed under judicial administration for 1 year. A copy of the ruling has been seen by Reuters, shown on Monday. This hasn't just happened to Dior under LVMH. This has also happened to brands under the Armani group as well. I also definitely think this is going to be the case for more brands. I think this is the start of something here. I think that, I don't know whether this was a whistleblower or whether it was like like an insider who kind of broke this news. And it really does beg this question over luxury and whether it is true luxury, because I've spoken before in a video, and you might be really shocked to know this if you don't already know this. In Italy, I remember reading a law around this, and as long as 2 things are assembled, 2 things minimum are assembled in Italy or France or wherever, it can be called made in Italy, made in France, you know, created in Europe. Can you believe that? So the product in large is made in China, let's say. It's sent to Italy where they put the handle on and sew on the logo. That's it. They can say it's made in Italy when actually it never was. So what's happening here is that work has been subcontracted to Chinese companies that have been exploiting workers. And this is to do with 32 workers in question. 2 of those workers were illegal immigrants. 7 were without the required documentation to be in Italy. Now I want to show you this video, which is not the best quality because I screen recorded this from Diet Prada, so they're the ones that this has come from, and I will link to them below. But this is a video from a Italian government agency that's showing conditions at one of the subcontractors that was making the DIOR bags. This is DIOR bags, everyone. I'm going to come on to ready to wear in a second. It looks like a place of multiple occupancy where more people are having to stay there than even fits in the place. It just looks filthy. In a 32-page ruling, the judges said that workers were made to sleep in the workplace in order to have manpower available 24 hours a day. Data mapping electricity consumption showed seamless day and night production cycles, including during the holidays. In addition, safety devices have been removed from the machinery to allow them to operate faster, according to the document. All of this allowed the suppliers to charge DIOR as little as 53 euros, that is $57 per handbag. The ruling said, or a fraction of the $9,500 the high-end label can charge. Probably they're charging even more than that now, I would say. LVMH doesn't break down profits by brand, although DIOR is among its most valuable. The entire group recorded 86.2 billion euros, that's 92.6 billion US dollars, in revenues in 2023, a 13% uptick from the year before. So you know I did a video about the Kering group in the last video where I was talking about how like Gucci was 21% down for Q1 2024 revenue. Saint Laurent was down 8% Q1 2024 revenue. It looks like LVMH are actually doing the opposite. I always felt as though Kering v LVMH I feel hold the more prestigious brands, if you want to call it that. I just think the brands under LVMH are more, they're just better, I think, if you were to compare the two. The staff lived and worked in hygiene and health conditions that are below the minimum required by an ethical approach, it added. The DIOR unit did not adopt appropriate measures to check the actual working conditions or the technical capabilities of contracting companies, failing to carry out periodic audits of its suppliers over the years, it added. The owners of the contracting and subcontracting companies are under investigation by Milan prosecutors for exploiting workers and employing people off the books, while DIOR itself faces no criminal probe. I love DIOR, okay? DIOR is one of my favourite brands. In the last year, I feel as though a lot of their things, not all, but I feel like a lot of their things have reached a price where I'm finding it hard to like want to go and drop the money, to be honest. Like the Lady Dior, I love it and I'd like another one, but the size I like is now nearly or a bit over 5k, I think, from memory. And I love that bag, but I wouldn't go and spend that money on it now. Also, I think another thing impacting my decision is that I'm fortunate enough to have quite a few Lady Dior's bags that I bought, because I've always loved that bag. I've always loved the Lady Dior and I always will, and I will always use it and enjoy it, but it's tainted how I feel about the brand now knowing this. And it's one thing suspecting it, it's another thing knowing it. Coming on to clothing, I want to talk about this briefly because I really like Reddit. And on Reddit, there's a big conversation going on about this at the moment, particularly from those in Italy who are talking about how big it is in the news over there. And I saw a comment, now it is Reddit, so you can't take it as gospel, but I did see a comment that said that the clothes, a lot of the clothes, they're making it sound like all of the clothes are made there, but I doubt that. I would imagine they're made all over the world, but definitely not like 100% in Europe. But apparently the clothes and the embroidery is all done in Delhi in India. And then, as I was telling you, it's sent to Europe where it's all assembled, and that is how they can say it's made in Italy or it's made in France. I always watched these videos by DIOR where I was watching someone make a bag and it was like clean and beautiful in the background, and you watched it and you thought, wow, this is one of probably few brands that are treating their staff great. Maybe the factory is real, I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if that factory is like a set, a prop where they go and create their social media content. And again, I can't prove that. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying that based on this new evidence that's come out to do with people working in disgusting conditions, it's making me question those promotional videos that we see on Instagram now. It's making me wonder, well, where is that? Because it doesn't look anything like that video I showed you all a moment ago. When I say I love the brand, I mean I love their style, I love their designs, I really like their salespeople. Whenever I go in there, it feels like a family. Their salespeople are lovely. And I feel so disappointed for the brand and for their products and for their salespeople, because I think it's tainted the brand. And just imagine if you worked there and then this came out, and if you've got strong ethics about this kind of thing, I think it would possibly change your mind on how you feel about a place. And that's just what I think. They're just my they're just my thoughts, kind of like chucking them out there. Anyway, as I say, let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.